RPGs can be among the most rewarding experiences in all of gaming, but some of the best RPGs have flown under the radar. So I've explored the gaming dungeons to farm 15 of the best RPGs you never played. I put links to any full reviews just below the like button, but for now, let's dive in. First up is Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning. Developed by 38 Studios and Big Huge Games in 2012, Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning is an action RPG set in a rich high fantasy world. The game's known for its deep lore, crafted by acclaimed fantasy writer R.A. Salvatore, and its fast-paced, dynamic combat system. You play as the Fateless One, a resurrected warrior with no predetermined destiny, allowing you to shape your own fate as you explore the vast world of Amalur and unravel a conflict between mortals and the immortal Fae. The combat is rad, combining fluid melee, ranged, and magic attacks in a way that feels more like an action game than a traditional RPG. You can switch between weapons and abilities seamlessly, using combos, spells, and finishing moves to take down enemies. The flexibility of the character progression allows you to mix and match skill trees to create a custom playstyle, whether you want to wield swords, cast spells, or master stealth. The flexibility and freedom is one of the game's biggest strengths. And that's coupled with a huge open world filled with side quests, dungeons, and hidden secrets. Its vibrant environments, diverse enemies, and detailed storylines create an engaging experience, perfect for fans of classic RPGs like The Elder Scrolls or Fable. The story behind the development is absolutely wild, with unlikely characters and shady deals. I'd need a whole separate video to do it justice. Well, maybe someday. This was meant to be an answer to the wildly popular Skyrim, and while it never caught fire like that game, very few games ever do, Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning has gained a cult following over the years for its satisfying combat and rich world building. And with the remastered version Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning in 2020, this incredible game is accessible to a whole new generation of gamers. Next up is Grim Dawn. Developed by Crate Entertainment and released in 2016, Grim Dawn is an action RPG set in a dark, post-apocalyptic world where humanity is on the brink of extinction. The game clearly takes inspiration from classics like Diablo 2, offering a deep, loot-driven system with fast-paced combat with all of the complex character customization and rich world-building you'd expect from that comparison. Set in the world of Cairn, a land ravaged by a war between two otherworldly forces. You play as a human infused with strange powers, fighting to survive and rebuild in the midst of chaos. Gameplay revolves around hacking, slashing, and blasting through hordes of enemies, collecting loot, and mastering a dual-class system that allows for extensive character customization. You can choose from 6 primary classes, like Soldier, Occultist, or Demolitionist, and then mix them to create powerful hybrid builds that give you a lot of flexibility for tailoring to your playstyle. And there are literally hundreds of skills and abilities for making each character unique. In addition to its deep combat system, Grim Dawn has a rich, lore-filled world with dynamic quests, factions to align with, and a reputation system that impacts gameplay. The dark, gritty atmosphere is complemented by its moody visuals and haunting soundtrack, completely pulling you into the experience. With its addictive loop of crafting, loot, and combat, Grim Dawn is perfect for ARPG fans with almost endless replayability. Moving on to Scarlet Nexus. Developed by Bandai Namco and released in 2021, Scarlet Nexus is a fast-paced action RPG set in a futuristic cyberpunk world where humanity is threatened by mysterious brain-eating creatures called the Others. There are 2 full campaigns based on who you choose to play, either Yuito or Kasane, who are both members of the Other Suppression Force or OSF, a group of soldiers with psychokinetic abilities tasked with protecting humanity. The story dives deep into themes of memory, technology, and the evolution of the human brain, while unraveling the mysteries behind the Others and the nature of reality. The combat is a freaking blast, and definitely the highlight, blending more traditional weapon-based attacks with psychokinetic powers. You can hurl objects at enemies, manipulate the environment, and combine psychic abilities with those of your squad mates to create devastating combos. Each character has their own skill tree, allowing you to unlock new abilities and tailor combat to your preferred style. The dual narrative, with each protagonist offering a unique perspective on the story, encourages multiple playthroughs, as certain plot points and character arcs are only fully understood by experiencing both sides of the narrative. Visually, the game is striking, with a vibrant, anime-inspired art style and slick character designs that add to its futuristic, cyberpunk-like world. And yeah, it's not the first time I'm talking about this game, but that's cause I want a sequel, damn it. With its intense, fluid combat, intriguing story, and memorable characters, Scarlet Nexus offers an awesome mix of action and narrative that's perfect for fans of fast-paced RPGs and Japanese sci-fi storytelling. Okay, let's talk about The Last Story. I almost never hear anyone talking about this game. Developed by Mistwalker and released in 2011 for the Wii, The Last Story is a JRPG that combines action-packed combat with a strong narrative focus. And that should come as no surprise coming from the legendary director Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy. And has anyone ever noticed The Last Story and Final Fantasy are like basically the same title? Anyway, the game follows Zale, a young mercenary who dreams of becoming a knight, as he and his companions navigate the political intrigue and war tearing apart the island nation of Lazulis. The story is rich with personal drama, relationships, and exploration of themes like loyalty and destiny. The action-based combat with strategic elements is a real standout. You can take cover, issue commands to party members, and use Zale's unique gathering ability to draw enemy attention, allowing teammates to attack freely. You're encouraged to approach battles tactically, combining magic, melee combat, and environmental interactions. The real-time system keeps the gameplay engaging and dynamic, making it feel more like an action RPG than a traditional turn-based experience. In addition to the compelling story and combat, the beautiful art design and orchestral soundtrack by Nobuyo Uematsu add to the emotional depth and atmosphere of the game. While it was released late in the Wii's lifecycle, it gained a small, dedicated following similar to another game by Sakaguchi, Lost Odyssey. Although a lot more people tend to talk about that game these days. The Last Story is really a hidden gem among JRPGs, offering a unique blend of storytelling and action that resonates with fans of the genre. Up next is Resonance of Fate. Developed by Tri-Ace and published by Sega in 2010, Resonance of Fate is a unique blend of JRPG and tactical action. Set in a dystopian steampunk world, the story takes place in a massive, machine-powered tower where humanity clings to survival. You follow the journey of Vacheron, Zephyr, and Leanne as they navigate mercenary work, uncover the mysteries of the tower, and challenge the controlling religious hierarchy. The innovative and complex combat system is a real standout, with a focus on gunplay and acrobatics. Combat is turn-based, with an emphasis on positioning, movement, and style. You control characters' movements on a battlefield, performing intricate stunts like running, jumping, and spinning while firing guns in slow-mo. Yeah, it's as cool as it sounds. The tri-attack system adds further depth, allowing characters to coordinate attacks for massive damage. The learning curve's fairly steep, but the stylish, high-energy battles are totally rewarding once you get the hang of things. Customization plays a big role too. You can deeply modify your guns and characters, affecting everything from stats to how they perform in combat. Also, the hex-based world map allows for non-linear exploration, where completing missions opens up new areas and content. A remastered version came out in 2018, making this game look and play better than ever. Don't let the initial complexity intimidate you. Resonance of Fate is a truly unique JRPG that sets itself apart with its strategic depth and fast-paced cinematic combat. Now let's talk about Odin Sphere Leifthrasir. Developed by Vanillaware and released in 2016. Odin Sphere Leifthrasir is an incredible remaster of the 2007 action RPG Odin Sphere. Set in the beautiful, hand-drawn world of Arion, the game weaves a rich, interlocking story told through the perspectives of 5 different protagonists: Gwendolyn, Cornelius, Mercedes, Oswald, and Velvet. Each character's tale connects to a larger narrative about prophecy, love, and betrayal, and the impending destruction of the world. The standout feature is its vibrant, side-scrolling combat system. Leifthrasir significantly improves the original's mechanics, making the combat faster, smoother, and more fluid, while retaining its original depth. You battle through hordes of enemies using various weapons and magical abilities, all while chaining together flashy combos and utilizing each character's unique fighting style. The addition of skill trees, new abilities, and refined gameplay balances make the action more engaging and strategic. Beyond its combat, Odin's Leifthrasir is a sight to behold with its breathtaking 2D art style. Vanillaware's signature hand-drawn animations are incredibly detailed, creating a visually stunning experience that feels like a moving painting. The soundtrack, composed by Hitoshi Sakimoto, adds to the epic fantasy atmosphere with sweeping orchestral pieces. With its engaging narrative, beautiful art, and fast-paced action, Odin's Leifthrasir is a must-play for fans of action RPGs and 2D side-scrollers. Moving on to Dragon's Dogma. Developed by Capcom and released in 2012, Dragon's Dogma is an action RPG known for its expansive open world, dynamic combat, deep customization, and the pawns. Set in the fantasy world of Grancis, you play as the Arisen, a warrior destined to defeat the dragon that stole your heart, embarking on an epic quest that intertwines fate and personal sacrifice. The combat system is its crown jewel, offering fast-paced, tactical, and fluid battles against massive enemies like griffins, hydras, and ogres. The ability to climb on large foes for direct attacks makes these fights feel epic. And the varied class system, ranging from the agile strider to the powerful sorcerer, lets you totally customize your playstyle. A complete revolution for the time is the ability to recruit or create pawns. These AI-controlled allies assist in combat and exploration, each with unique skills and personalities. They can learn throughout your journey, and even be recruited into other players' games. This is an RPG lover's RPG, with expansive loot gathering, deep skill progression, and a vast, immersive world with dungeons, secrets, and side quests. The day-night cycle and dynamic weather further breathe life into the world, making exploration and combat feel unpredictable and exciting. Just a year after release, an enhanced edition called Dark Arisen was released, which included the base game along with a host of improvements, new combat, and the challenging Bitter Black Isle expansion. And yeah, while Dragon's Dogma 2 recently released, I still have a soft spot for the enhanced original for its robust combat, dark, mysterious story, and countless hours of exploration. Let's talk about Trials of Mana. Originally released as Seiken Densetsu 3 in 1995, Trials of Mana received a full 3D remake in 2020, bringing the classic JRPG into the modern era, with updated visuals, mechanics, and voice acting, set in a vibrant, high fantasy world where you choose 3 out of 6 unique characters, each with their own backgrounds, motivations, and class progression. These choices directly impact the story, making each playthrough distinct and adding a ton of replayability. The remake retains the charm of the original, but overhauls the combat system. It switches from the original's top-down perspective to a real-time action-based battle system that's fast, fluid, and an absolute blast. You can seamlessly switch between characters mid-battle, unleashing combos, special moves, and magic attacks, all while dodging enemy strikes in dynamic 3D arenas. The class system allows you to evolve your characters into different roles, ranging from powerful magic users to agile fighters, adding depth to the character customization. The remake also introduces quality of life improvements like camera controls, enhanced AI, and a new post-game chapter with additional content and challenges. While staying faithful to the original in terms of the story and world design, Trials of Mana brings a fresh, modern feel to its beautiful, colorful graphics and remastered soundtrack. The remake strikes the perfect balance between nostalgia and innovation, making it a great entry point for newcomers, while satisfying longtime fans of the Mana series. Next up is Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. Developed by Level 5 in 2011, Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch is a captivating JRPG that blends traditional role-playing elements with stunning anime-inspired visuals from Studio Ghibli. The game follows Oliver, a young boy who embarks on a magical journey to another world in hopes of reviving his mother. Along the way, he teams up with quirky companions and magical creatures, known as Familiars, to defeat enemies and stop the evil White Witch from plunging the world into chaos. The charming art style and heartwarming storytelling, which are deeply emotional and layered with themes of love, loss, and hope, are a pure joy. The whimsical world is filled with vibrant towns, vast landscapes, and unique characters, all brought to life with hand-drawn animation and a sweeping orchestral score by Joe Hisaishi. Combat mixes real-time and turn-based systems, allowing you to control Oliver, his companions, and their familiars in battle. Familiars can be captured, trained, and evolved. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can switch between characters and familiars mid-battle, adding variety to encounters and boss fights. Now, there was a sequel, and while it's still good, the first game is by far my favorite of the two. With its beautiful art direction, rich narrative, and a blend of classic RPG elements with a modern twist, Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch is a standout experience for fans of both JRPGs and Studio Ghibli's cinematic magic. Let's talk about the sixth main entry in the long-running Star Ocean series with Star Ocean: The Divine Force. Developed by Tri-Ace and released in 2022, Star Ocean: The Divine Force blends sci-fi and fantasy elements in a sprawling action RPG. The game follows dual protagonists, Raymond, a spaceship captain from a technologically advanced civilization, and Leticia, a princess from an underdeveloped planet, as their paths cross and they team up to protect their world from a mysterious threat. You can choose between Raymond or Leticia as the main character, experiencing slightly different storylines and perspectives based on your choice. The open-ended exploration and fast-paced real-time combat are consistently engaging. The game introduces the Dogma system, a flying companion that gives you the ability to dash and fly freely across vast environments, opening up a lot of verticality and freedom in exploration and combat. Combat itself is awesome, allowing you to seamlessly switch between characters and unleash a range of melee and ranged attacks, special abilities, and Dogma-powered maneuvers. The world feels large, filled with lush landscapes, towering cities, and sprawling dungeons. Its narrative weaves between political intrigue, interplanetary conflict, and themes of coexistence between technology and nature, all while building on the series' trademark mix of spacefaring adventure and fantastical settings. With its blend of open exploration, fast-paced combat, and deep character-driven narrative, Star Ocean: The Divine Force feels fresh and exciting for both longtime fans and newcomers to the series.
Must be nice being free from that tree farm.
Oh, yes, what a relief. I still have some fruit left over. Anyone want an apple?
Next is Immortals: Fenyx Rising. Developed by Ubisoft in 2020, Immortals: Fenyx Rising is an open-world action RPG set in a vibrant, mythological version of ancient Greece. You control Fenyx, a customizable hero tasked with saving the Greek gods from the evil titan Typhon, who's escaped imprisonment and seeks to reclaim his power. The game blends humor, mythology, and exploration into a lighthearted yet thoroughly engaging experience. The vast, colorful open world is filled with mythical creatures like harpies, cyclopses, and minotaurs, and is divided into different regions, each themed after a Greek god, filled with puzzles, dungeons, and challenges. Exploration is central, as Fenyx can glide across the landscape, climb mountains, and tame mounts, all while uncovering secrets and solving environmental puzzles. Combat is fast-paced and dynamic, mixing melee, ranged attacks, and godlike abilities, such as summoning spears or wielding Zeus's lightning. You can customize Fenyx's abilities, weapons, and armor, making for a flexible combat system that adapts to your playstyle. There were a lot of comparisons to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, mostly due to its visuals, but it's actually pretty different, standing out with its humor, combat, and the way it reimagines Greek mythology. I have a whole video on why this game is so good that I recommend you check out, but just know you should play Immortals Fenyx Rising. You can thank me later. Moving on to Vampyr. Developed by Don't Nod Entertainment and released in 2018, Vampyr is an action RPG set in London during the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic. You play as Dr. Jonathan Reed, a newly turned vampire who grapples with his newfound bloodlust while trying to uphold his duty as a physician. This duality between predator and healer is the core of the game's narrative and gameplay, as you must make difficult moral choices that impact both the story and the game's world. The gameplay blends narrative-driven exploration with tense combat. As a vampire, Reed has supernatural abilities like teleportation, blood-based attacks, and enhanced strength, which are crucial for battling various enemies, including vampire hunters and other creatures of the night. Combat is challenging, with you needing to balance offensive powers with defense, dodging, and resource management. One of the game's key features is its unique morality system. You can choose to embrace your vampiric nature, feeding on the citizens of London to gain strength, or spare them to maintain a more ethical approach. Feeding on characters can provide significant power boosts, but comes at the cost of their lives, which directly impacts the health of the city's districts. Vampyr shines through its atmospheric setting, morally complex decisions, and a haunting atmosphere that complements the internal conflict of its protagonist, making for a memorable and unique RPG experience. Next up is Valkyria Chronicles 4. Developed by Sega in 2018, Valkyria Chronicles 4 is a tactical RPG that returns to the series' roots. With its signature blend of turn-based strategy, real-time action, and beautiful watercolor art style. Set during the Second European War, the game runs parallel to the events of the original Valkyria Chronicles, but this time it follows the story of Squad E, led by Commander Claude Wallace, as they embark on a desperate mission to end the war and liberate their homeland. The standout feature is its Blitz combat system, which combines tactical turn-based planning with real-time third-person action. You control individual soldiers, choosing their movements and attacks on a battlefield, but must consider factors like terrain, enemy positioning, and limited actions per turn. The battles are butt-clenching as you alternate between careful strategy and intense on-the-ground combat. New to Valkyria Chronicles 4 is the Grenadier class, which adds new strategic depth with long-range artillery support. The story is deeply emotional, focusing on the bonds between the members of Squad E as they face the horrors of war. Each character has their own unique background, personality, and role on the battlefield, making them feel integral to the overall narrative. The hand-drawn watercolor aesthetic has a timeless storybook feel that contrasts with its serious themes of war and sacrifice. With its engaging tactical combat, strong character development, and beautiful presentation, Valkyria Chronicles 4 is a worthy entry in the series and a must-play for fans of strategy games. Moving on to Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. Developed by Falcom and released in 2016, Ys 8 is an action RPG and the 8th main entry in the long-running Ys series. Once again, the game follows the iconic red-haired adventurer Adol Kristin as he shipwrecks on a mysterious island. Alongside other survivors, Adol must unravel the island's secrets while experiencing visions of a blue-haired maiden named Dana, whose fate is tied to the island's past. The fast-paced real-time combat system is a ton of fun. You control a team of 3 characters, each with unique abilities and weapon types, switching between them on the fly to exploit enemy weaknesses. The fluid combat combined with flashy special moves and evasive maneuvers keeps battles exciting and dynamic. Exploration is equally engaging, with you uncovering hidden areas, solving puzzles and navigating dangerous environments across the vast, diverse island. The dual narrative, alternating between Adol's survival and Dana's story in a dreamlike world, gives Ys 8 a unique emotional depth. As you switch between these timelines, they slowly piece together the mystery of the island and its ancient history. The vibrant visuals, memorable characters, and beautifully orchestrated soundtrack are another bright spot. With its engaging combat, immersive exploration, and gripping narrative, Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana is a standout entry in the Ys series, offering a well-balanced mix of action, adventure, and storytelling that appeals to both series veterans and newcomers. And last is Atelier Ryza, Ever Darkness, and the Secret Hideout. Developed by Gust and released in 2019, this is the first in the Ryza subseries of the long-running Atelier series, known for its focus on alchemy, exploration, and character-driven storytelling. The game follows Ryza, a spirited young girl living in a peaceful village, as she dreams of leaving her quiet life behind to go on adventures. Alongside her friends, she embarks on a journey to explore mysterious ruins, learn the art of alchemy, and discover her purpose. The core of Atelier Ryza revolves around alchemy, where you gather materials from the environment to craft items, weapons, and potions using a deep, rewarding synthesis system. The crafting mechanic is central to progression, with different recipes unlocking as you experiment with various ingredients. The synthesis system is more streamlined than in previous Atelier titles, making it accessible to newcomers while still offering depth for veterans. Combat is real-time with turn-based elements, where you control Ryza and her party in fast-paced battles, using a combination of physical attacks, magic, and alchemy-crafted items to defeat enemies. The game encourages strategy, as you need to carefully manage your abilities and resources during encounters. With its focus on exploration, alchemy, and a heartfelt story, Atelier Ryza Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout is a delightful and engaging RPG, and a perfect entry point into the Atelier series. And that's 15 incredible RPGs you'll wish you played sooner. Well, there's no better time than the present. What underappreciated RPGs did I miss? Let me know. If you liked the video, hit like, drop a comment, and of course subscribe. And if you want even more of my gaming thoughts, check out my video right here. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.